Denise Shaw, you midday queen. It's time to be your best you. And you know I had to bring back motivational author, internationally known, award-winning author, Robert Jackson.
Glad to be back.
I'm so excited.
Let's do it again.
We've been doing this Mother's Day series.
We've been running it back.
You know, we're coming upon it. And so I thought it was so important for us to continue this conversation because we got rave reviews on our radio interview.
Beautiful. Make
sure you check it out on Classix 1029. But King, we got to talk about the communication, the breakdown.
Yes.
Not just the generations and, you know, but most importantly with our son.
Yes.
You know, our moms, as we grow through life, we need to know through life, how do we get better communication with our sons? Because y'all be different, y'all man.
We're a little different. We're a little touched. But y'all a little touched too.
Yeah,
but
we are.
The biggest thing is listening.
Yeah.
I talk to moms all the time about being better listeners.
Right.
We got to listen to our children, and we got to be careful with our responses. Not just listening, listen with the intent of not responding until he's done.
So listen to understand, not to respond.
There you go. Many times we listen to respond and not understand.
Yeah.
We got to start comprehending what our sons are going through. This is a different age they're growing up with technology and the cell phones and all the social media, different than the way I grew up.
Yeah.
So listen with your heart and not with your emotions.
I love that.
And once you listen, then seek to understand. And if you don't understand, then ask more questions to understand. And I promise you, you're going to build a healthy relationship with your son. And sometimes they say crazy stuff.
Right.
But you got to be able to listen with a straight face. I understand, nodding, and just letting them know that you're listening with the intent to listen, not with the intent, I didn't do this, and being defensive.
Right.
And many times parents are so defensive, and that's when kids shut down.
Right. And let me tell you, I have not shut this book, y'all. This has been my resource, my Bible for mothers raising sons. No more excuses. And that's what we've been pulling from as well.
Yeah.
And I was also reading The Establishment of Respect in Your Household. Now, they might go and come back, you know, or like through COVID we did, or just, you know, you're trying to transition. That's not baby boy. That's my big man now.
That's right.
With his own family. How do we break that between respect, giving my respect to get respect, because it seems like that's kind of the era that we're in.
It is. You know, respect is mutual.
Right.
You need mutual respect.
Right.
But you got to establish respect when he's a kid.
Right.
Don't wait until he's 6'5", looking you in the face, and then you better show me some respect. Mom, stop cussing your kids out. Stop being so loud and just fussing all the time. And just, like I said, with effective communication, our young men are like sponges. And mothers single-handedly have the ability to damage kids way more than the father.
Right.
Because of that emotional intelligence piece, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit later.
Right.
But in order to establish respect, you have to give it, you have to listen, and you have to make sure that you're teaching him at a young age. He started raising his voice at a young age, throwing stuff, throwing tantrums. You got to take stuff away from him, and you got to punish him in the right way. And not just punish like cussing out and I'm going to beat on you. No, not that kind of punishment, but taking things away and teaching along the way. Because when you punish, you got to teach. Think about all the kids that get suspended from school.
Right.
You get suspended, but there's no rehabilitation. Nobody's teaching you anything. So you're getting cycled in. You're coming back in the way that you left. And that's what happens with our young men. They're being scolded. They're being yelled at, but they're not being taught. So respect is established when you're teaching and you're learning while you're teaching him.
But it's such a hard communication gap because I swear everything, text.
It is.
It's like, so I get
Stop trying to figure it out. Don't try to figure it out because it drives me crazy too. I do that with my son. I call him, he won't answer, then he'll text me, "What's up, Dad? What's up is I need you to answer the phone."
Right.
I ain't ready to write no book.
You won't pick up the phone, but you'll text.
Well, they pick it up when they need some money.
Yeah, that's true.
They'll call you when they need money. So that's a whole nother story. So we just have to, you know, and I think every child is different. And you got to find that communication style that works for your son.
Right. Well, on the wrap up with emotional intelligence, I was reading that in one of your chapters in this book, y'all, and we got some giveaways with this as well.
Yeah.
How can we support each other in recognizing and expressing, you know, this emotional, because it seems like these days and age, and I told you about my personal experience, that they're going through this emotional breakdown that you didn't know, like, when, where? I didn't see it.
Well, they learn it from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, so emotional intelligence means to manage my emotions while managing his emotions, right?
Okay.
So moms got to do a better job of managing their own emotions first.
Okay.
Emotions, feelings on the inside caused by pain or pleasure, that move you in a direction. It's emotions or feelings.
Right.
Who's in control of your emotions? You are.
Right.
And many times we wear our emotions on our sleeve, we wear them on our face, and we pour out all those emotions on those young men. And then when they respond the same way, we get upset.
Right, defensive.
Right? And we get defensive. So emotional intelligence means managing my emotions while managing his. So when you understand it from a management aspect and like, oh, he got loud with me, so I'm going to get loud back. That's not teaching.
Right.
You can't put out fire with more fire.
Right.
You got to put out fire with water. So we have to understand what those emotions are and then the steps to handle those emotions. If your son is in pain, like I said, it's 4 steps to deal with pain. You admit it, you write it down, you speak to somebody you trust, and you forgive.
Yeah.
And moms, start apologizing to your sons when you do something wrong. Don't continue the behavior. Apologize. Say, I didn't get that right. Let's start over. Let's try it again. That's how you establish respect. That's how you build communication. That's how you do all those things. And that's how you bridge that gap with that emotional intelligence.
I think I got where you're coming from, Robert. Lastly, in order to understand that intelligence, don't we need to understand how do boys and men think? Because truly, men are from Mars and women are from Venus. The conversation is like, what you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, that's right.
Or that you want that respect because I'm your mother. How dare you heighten your tone? So he's 30 at this point. I'm referring to my own personal son. But lastly, how do we understand that? How do boys and men think?
Well,
give us some insight coming from a man.
Yeah, the short version is we've been told ever since we were kids to man up and not show emotion. Don't be a punk. And when you've been told that since you were a kid, how am I acting when I come into your presence? I'm acting tough. I'm not showing emotion. And we have to allow our young men to feel comfortable enough to show emotion because we've been built that nothing hurts.
True.
I broke my arm when I was 6 years old, and you know, I pretended like it didn't hurt. I broke my leg in high school. My best friend got murdered. I didn't cry, you know, because I was taught toxic masculinity. And many of us been taught this toxic masculinity where we feel like nothing hurts and you know, just being over masculine about everything in life. We have to teach our young men it's okay to cry. Real men cry. It's okay to show emotions. It's okay to talk about how you feel. Many women right now listening to this are hurt by some man who's never shown emotion because he's been taught not to. So I want you to understand that from the beginning that we've been taught these things. But there are ways to overcome that. Since, you know, when you understand the hard skills, the aggression, the rage, the disappointment, you can't put out fire with more fire. You put out hard skills with soft skills, effective communication, honesty, trust. Trust not built overnight, it's built over time. So, and just allowing that young man to understand that it's okay to show emotion, but the weakest man on the planet, I want you to hear this, the weakest man on the planet is a man with out of control emotions, not a man who doesn't show emotions. Because when your emotions are out of control, you lost control of your family, your wife, your children, everything's out of control, everything's in chaos. And we have to teach our young men to control their emotions, but be able to express themselves at the same time.
Wow, deep. I almost want to do 2 fingers in a snap. Oh, thank you so much, King. We're going to have more conversation that you need to know coming up on Classix ATL. Make sure you're joining us there and also following us as well. I'm at Niecy Shaw, Niecey to the SHAW. And you, Robert?
Rob J Motivates on Instagram. Rob J Motivates. Follow me on Instagram, IG.
There it is. And we got some great giveaways and the book right on time for Mother's Day that you don't want to miss. We got you. Don't worry about that. Being your best you, another segment, Bye Bye and Up right here. Niecy Shaw, Robert Jackson, Classix ATL.